Everyone, welcome to PopCultX episode 162. Once again, we are Gabriel and Danny, your hosts for all things pop culture from a Gen X perspective. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Danny, how are you?
I'm well. I'm well. It's a couple days before All Hallows Eve here when we're recording this episode, so it's going to be like our final spooky episode of the season, I guess, of the year. So if you're watching this in order, thank you for following along so far. We appreciate that. Be sure to share our show with all your friends. Let's get that subscriber count up, and it all comes back to you guys out there. So, but I'm doing good to make a short answer long.
Yeah, that's good.
Like,
That's
that's
what we do,
nice.
right? Yeah. So yeah, I've been seeing some cool movies and some shows and music and things like that. So why don't we go ahead and get into it? I wanted to bring up I saw not really spooky, but definitely entertaining was Transformers One.
Oh,
I
okay.
made a picture about the origin story of the Transformers.
Hmm.
Really good. It's really entertaining, really funny. There was a lot of jokes in there that were for like adults that kind of I think that for the Gen X generation that grew up with Transformers.
Hmm.
It's really entertaining. It was really good. I really recommend it to everyone out there, especially if you grew up on Transformers.
Yeah. Did you have a lot of Transformer toys as a young kid?
I did. I had more GI Joes, but I definitely had some Transformers. I think that I had like the main characters, but I didn't have like a huge collection like a lot of other kids did.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a few too, and I always get a kick out of the what's his name, the one that transformed into a gun. It was like a gun looking thing that turned into a robot.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely had that one. That's one of the main villain. I forget his.
Megatron.
Yeah, Megatron.
There you
Yeah, I had that one for sure. Which was kind of weird because it turns into a gun. So it's
go. Right.
it seems weird that now that you would want your kids playing with guns, but that was a normal thing back then. Like
Right. It was different. Yeah, different time.
had guns.
I had Optimus Prime, of course, which I think was like everyone's favorite. This diesel Mack truck turned into a robot. Starscream was also one of my favorites too. The airplane.
Mhm.
So yeah, nice trip down memory lane there to all my toys from my youth. We should do an episode just purely based on toys from our youth. He-Man, GI Joe, Transformers. What are the ones? There was Mask, which was like the GI Joe, um, generic GI Joe in a way. That'd be kind of fun.
What's funny is that if you go into the toy store or just like a Target now, most of those toys are being remade. So
Mm. Hmm.
He-Man, Masters of the Universe are being
Hmm.
made. G.I. Joe are being remade.
Ninja
Uh,
Turtles.
Ninja Turtles are being remade. Like everything that we grew up on is being remade. And I'm not really sure if it's for people that are buying them to be nostalgic or if people are buying them for their kids or if it's a combination of both. But I have a feeling that it's like a really big nostalgia thing that
I
people
think
are
so.
buying because it reminds them of their childhood.
They can claim it's for their kids,
Yeah,
but really it's for the nostalgia purposes. Yeah, absolutely.
for sure.
And besides,
Another movie that I saw that kind of goes along more with our theme for tonight, which is kind of demons and all things kind of spiritual and scary, was now I can't think of the name of the movie. What's
are
uh,
you talking about Late Night with the Devil?
Late Night with the Devil. Thank
Okay.
you very much. You're psychic. You knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, I was like,
So Late Night with the Devil, which I thought was really entertaining. It was a really interesting premise. When I started watching it, my husband was like, "What are we watching?" Because it starts off as like a documentary,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and it's basically a documentary about this late night talk show that had a special on Halloween and had a couple different guests. One was like a psychic or like a mind reader. One was a skeptic, and the other one was
Hmm.
a parapsychologist who brought her ward with her, who is possessed by a demon or a devil, and then all hell breaks loose from there. But I thought it was really good. It wasn't super scary, even though like I tend to be kind of terrified by all those kind of things. But This one wasn't too bad. It was more it was on the entertaining side.
Hmm.
Definitely wasn't too scary.
No, I saw it as well. And I agree with you. It wasn't scary. Well, I don't really get scared with movies because, you know, whatever reason you want to label that. But this one was entertaining. I really think David Dastmalchian, is that how you say his last name? The lead in there, the main actor, he did a
Yeah,
great job portraying a late night talk show host.
yeah.
His performance was really well done. I was watching him and I was like, I feel like I'm watching Conan O'Brien there
Mhm.
doing that. And it was just so well done. I really liked the it was took place in 1977, so I really like the stylized version of it, how they made everything feel like it was from the 70s. So I thought that was really well done. I laughed when it first started, not because of the documentary, but because there was like 7 8 different production studios involved with it. So every time I thought the movie was going to start, no, another production company reel came in. It was like over and over and over again, and I laughed because in Family Guy they did a joke about that when Peter goes to the movies, and then he's like, "Oh, what's this movie going to be about? Oh, it looks really cool." And then it's a production studio name. Then it goes to another one, same thing. So I was just laughing about that. But it was really well done. I enjoyed it. I liked the sidekick, the Ed McMahon guy type of sidekick. I thought he did a great job of you know trying to do his job while being scared out of his mind what was going on, but still being professional and and going forward. So I thought that was really well done. They did a great job. I enjoyed it, except I won't get into it too much, but the ending kind of like petered off for me. I don't know. Maybe they didn't know exactly how they wanted to end it. It just kind of felt disconnected from the rest of the movie. Maybe it was supposed to be that way because if you watch the movie, you know how it ends and you know what he goes through at the ending, how he gets disconnected from everyone else and how he's like the cause of everything, if you will. But it just felt weird.
Yeah, it was interesting the ending. If anyone doesn't want to hear this, then there's going to be kind of spoilers coming up, so they can turn us off and turn us back on. But
Push mute.
yeah, push mute or do whatever you want to do. But apparently he had made sort of a Faustian like deal with the devil,
Mhm.
right? Where he is part of some secret society that exists, and it's sort of implied that that's how he came to be famous, and that how he was continuing it with his fame, and that, like maybe like this was the events that occurred was his comeuppance, like him having to pay for his misdeeds of making a deal with the devil to for fame and fortune. So I think that that's kind of how they tied it in, is that like he's sort of like stuck in like this hellish environment, and that
Hmm.
is having to pay for what he did. But they definitely did it in a creative way. um I think that it was interesting the way they had the young girl and the devil sort of appear, and how she sort of had started attacking everyone. I thought that was a really cool scene. She
Yeah.
attacks the
Oh yeah.
doctor, and she sets the skeptic on fire, and he kind of disintegrates. I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool. That was like kind of the cool special effects parts of
Hmm.
the movie.
No, that you're right. That was really cool how her head like split open and there was like a light in the middle there. I thought the effects were great. I thought that was really cool and how she basically choked the doctor, then slit her throat with the chain that the doctor used to use to contain the spirit, I guess. And then how the sidekick got his neck. He was just trying to say something. He just wrung his neck, broke his neck, and he just fell to the floor. It was
No,
it was
that
something.
was a sidekick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was something. I mean, it was just from like the get-go of the movie with Christu, I think it was a psychic name, right? And how he was trying to do a reading, kind of like a medium in the audience, and like and then he starts vomiting blood and everything. And I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was cool. And then it finds out that he turns out that he passed away because of that.
Yeah.
So it was I liked it. I mean, I enjoyed the movie.
So if it was real, if there was like a real life, Conan O'Brien would, or whoever does the Tonight Show now, if they were to have a Halloween special and you're in the audience and they say, now we're going to bring out some kid that's possessed by a devil and we're going to try to bring him out tonight, would you get up and walk out, or would the skeptic in you be like, okay, let's see what this is all about?
Yeah, let's see it. Prove me wrong. I want to watch it.
Really? Yeah, I would, even if there's like a slight chance that it's real, I would be out of there super quick. There's no way that I would sit there and be messing with that type of stuff at all.
I thought the audience, like some of the people in the costumes, the one with the guy in the skeleton costume, then
Yeah.
had someone like a devil costume. I thought their presence kind of set like an ominous tone to it, and I was
Mhm.
expecting more out of those characters, I guess. But just
Yeah.
having them sitting there and not really saying much. I mean, because we see like something happens right next to the guy with the skeleton, and he isn't really doing much. He's just kind of sitting there very quietly. I was like, "Ooh, got to keep an eye on this one,"
Yeah.
but that didn't pan out.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would be terrified if that was the case, and I would not be participating in that. Um, but the other part of it is a psychic who comes out and starts doing like a mind reading or
Hmm.
a spiritual guide, I guess, assisted um, psychic reading. And um, there's a lot of those in pop culture. I think like one of the ones that's like most famous right now, I think his name is Tyler. He's on like Entertainment Network. And he does readings for like famous people that are, wanting to speak to their past
Okay.
East relatives. And it's kind of funny because like I think that there's in pop culture, there's been those psychics around for a while, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of come and go with popularity. But then they like you don't really hear about them. Like what happened to the psychics that were in the 70s? Like they obviously must have been proven wrong because they'd be around right now talking about how they're right about the future. But it's like you're always seeing the one saying, "Oh, something's going to happen in the future," and then like they never test it. You never see them when it's supposed to come to fruition, right? Like it.
Yeah. Yeah. They always, oh, I got it wrong. So they shrink back into the shadows or something.
Yeah.
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 Except for, maybe because he was from the was he 1300? Nostradamus is probably the most famous one, right? With all of his predictions that I don't think have ever come true.
Yeah.
But, his people still believe in him and still believe that they still try to reinterpret his predictions, I guess, in various ways to meet their own needs. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I do I believe in that? I don't know. Like I watched the Long Island Medium for a while.
Mhm.
I thought she was cool. I mean, she had this over the top persona, right? And it was cool to see her interact with people, especially when she's just going grocery shopping or something. And then
Yeah.
she talks to the person in front of her. Oh, your dead aunt is here or something like that. They always I got a kick out of that. But did I believe it was real?
Yeah, I think like at that point you're just watching it for entertainment's sake, right? Like you're
Yeah.
not really buying into the fact that she can talk to dead people. It's just you find her to be kind of entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Um, one of my friends was on social media and was asking for scary movies and was mentioning like some classics that she always likes to watch, and one of them was Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, nice.
And so she was like, "What?" She didn't want to watch it again, so she was asking for recommendations, and I recommended to her what I consider the scariest movie of all time, and which is very demonic, is The Exorcist, which I think is like the king of all scary movies.
Oh yeah.
Like
Well,
you get scarier than that for me. Um, I don't know. Have you seen The Exorcist?
yeah, I've seen it a couple times, and it keeps getting funnier every time I see it. No,
Wow. I literally cannot watch it. I was gonna try
really.
it for the podcast, for this
Hmm.
particular topic. Played the trailer, and then I was like, nope, no, I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. It's too scary. I don't know if it's like because I saw it when I was a kid, and it scared me so much when I was a kid that just the thought of it scares me. And I know the special effects are cheesy, and it doesn't really hold up to like modern day
Yeah,
special effects. But there's something about it that just like really, I mean, it must be my Catholic upbringing, but it just really scares the crap out of me.
Well, let me ask you this about this. So, do you think modern movies or more recent films, even some of the newer Exorcist versions, right? One with the Russell Crowe, Exorcist and Believer, do you think they hold up, or how are they compared to like the originals of like the Exorcist or even like Poltergeist or something like that? Are they better because
I
of
think
their modern filmmaking techniques?
I think that they can't hold up because people were more innocent back then when The Exorcist came out. There was like, people didn't play like video games and kill zombies online, and it was a different time,
Hmm.
and I think that it was like the first of its kind when it came out. People were like fainting in the aisles and like passing out and like totally freaking out from what they were watching on film. And I don't think you can really get that now because everyone's so jaded. Everyone's seen
Everyone's
everything.
so desensitized. Yeah.
You're totally, even little kids that like by the time they're 12, they've been playing video games and seeing like, you know, zombies and demons that they've been shooting at and killing, that it's like, oh, it's not that scary. And I don't think that we're that religious anymore, where religion has that much of a hold on our consciousness, even though there's a lot of people that pretend to be, you know, which is a whole other topic.
A
But
whole other kind of scary.
yeah, a whole other kind of scary. Uh, but I don't think that people have the same type of faith that they did back then, where like they think that like demons are around and are like possessing people. I don't think that people think that anymore. I know that there are some people like that out there, but it's not like mainstream. Now
Yeah,
it's like more on the fringes of society.
true. So are you saying that all exorcist possession type things are purely religious based and whatnot?
Well, yeah, like it's I mean, it's based off of religious mythology, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I guess. Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
guess. I mean,
I mean,
demons come from somewhere, right? So,
yeah. Like I
okay.
don't think there's a film that has a demon that it's not religious based. Like that it's just like a demon creature that is, not related to God or the devil, or at least I haven't seen one.
Well, I mean, look at it from different cultures then, right? I guess if you want to think of it that way, you can look at like, well, even in then, there's still some sort of god deity that takes possession of people. So I guess that's religious based in a way.
One of my favorite, even though like I said, I'm kind of scared by the Exorcist and demons and all of that. One of my favorite ones is Tales from the Crypt. They did a movie, I think it's called Demon Night, with Jada
Mm, hmm.
Smith. And
Yeah.
I thought they did such a great job with the demons. They like were so like they were different looking, and they were it was very unique the way that they did the demons in that film. Like, and it was just a fun film. Like it was really funny. I don't,
Yeah.
have you seen that film?
I think I've seen bits and pieces of it. I used to watch Tales from the Crypt, the TV show, right?
Yeah,
And he's the Crypt Keeper, and so it's always those always have like a small sense of humor to them.
yeah,
So yeah, I haven't. I don't think I've seen the whole Demon Knight film.
yeah. You should watch it. It's fun. It's like it's not scary. It's more on the humorous side. There are parts of it that are kind of creepy, but for the most part, it's like a fun, like horror movie, like kind of on like the B side of the
Yeah.
genre.
So what movie then do you think does demons the best, I guess, or to you, doesn't have to be the best, but for your eyes? I know Exorcist is the scariest one, but maybe another film like, oh, they captured demons the best there.
I don't know. Like I think The Exorcist is probably the scariest, and where it was most impactful and they did the best job of capturing like a possession.
Hmm.
I can't really think of, there's other films where there's like fallen angels that Christopher Walken, I think, plays Gabriel. And is it Gabriel? I forget if it's Gabriel or if it's another angel, but in the prophecy, and that
Yeah,
one's really good.
yeah,
He is an amazing actor, so he brings his own creepiness to the role. So I thought he did a really good job, and they did a good creating the ambiance to that film. But I can't really think of any other ones where I was like, That's a really cool demon. Other than demon, I thought that those were cool demons. Um, I don't know. What do you have?
Uh, for my, I maybe because I don't watch as many of those, but I really like Constantine.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job of, the different types of demons and the different way they manifest themselves, and I thought I really liked that one.
Did they didn't like have eyes, right? Or
Some of them didn't, yeah, and some were just like the worms, and then some, and then they had the Gabriel in that as well. Some of the other Balthazar, different archangel, fallen angels and whatnot, and I thought it was really well done.
yeah, I really like that movie. The my favorite part of it is Tilda Swinton. She's just
Yeah,
amazing, and
yeah,
she
she
just
is.
played the angel perfectly. And she's just like whatever she does. It makes the film like so much better.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was great. Another aspect of like possession and demonic is like cursed objects, right? So
Hmm.
like think like Annabelle, think like Chucky to an extent, right? But he's
Yeah.
possessed by a person. Um, are there any films or comic books or stories of a cursed object that really stand out to you?
Well, you mentioned Annabelle, like the Conjuring universe, like I think is probably my favorite. With the Warrens and how they collect objects and keep them in their museum
Mm-hmm.
of like cursed objects or artifacts. Um, I think that because those stories are supposed to be based on true stories,
Yeah.
that it's like a little bit scarier for me. I don't necessarily think that there's like a possessed Raggedy Ann doll or whatever. But I think that it's just kind of a interesting idea of them collecting all these artifacts and them all being haunted and cursed and have their own particular story. And I think that they've done a really good job of like making multiple movies based off of that sort of idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that what's his name, Zach Baggins,
Bacon, yeah.
yeah, that he has his museum in Las Vegas
Yeah.
where he has all of the curse, there certain curse objects as well, which is really interesting. I've had a couple people that have gone that told me that it's okay, that it's not super scary, that it's more like really long and kind of drawn out.
Ah,
But I
okay.
would be interested in going and checking it out, and seeing if you really feel anything from these objects, or if they're really scary, or if it's just mythology that they're just
In your
telling.
mind.
Yeah, if it's just in your mind, exactly. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I think that there's something to be said about objects holding certain energy, and it not necessarily being possessed, but like maybe you can get a certain vibe off of an object.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't think that it's going to necessarily cause like turbulence in your life by having like a table that's haunted.
A table.
I don't know.
No, well, let's play on that for a little bit. So let's say you find out that something in your house is cursed,
Yeah.
right? An object in your house is cursed. Are you getting rid of it or are you keeping it?
Well, my parents actually bought a a table. Like it's
Ah,
uh,
table.
yeah, it's like a long. I don't know if you would call it a table. I mean, it's like a long knee high table. I mean, I don't know
Like
what
a
else.
coffee table type thing?
Yeah, kind of like a coffee table, but it's super long and super big, and it's all like made out of like one piece of wood. And they bought it off of a hotel that got burnt.
Mm.
I don't believe that anyone died in the hotel fire, but it was a hotel that is supposedly haunted or was haunted. It's since closed in Arizona and it's like long gone. But for a long time, there was like in family urban legend, we kind of thought that it might be haunted. But they kept it and they kind of like passed it along. I think my sister had it for a while. I don't know if she still has it or not, but um, it didn't scare us enough to want to get rid of it.
So
So I
nothing happened.
personally, if I felt that I had an object that was haunted, I would want to get rid of it. I
Okay.
probably would not want to keep it. But at the same time, like I'm very attracted to like old Victorian houses. I just think that they're super cool. looking. I would love to live in one. If I like won the lottery, I would totally buy one and like fix it up and like I don't know, like sort of have like a haunted mansion style house. But um, at that point, I don't think it would be scary to have a whole bunch of like antique furniture.
Right. Because it fits. Yeah.
It fits the vibe. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I don't think that it would be all that scary. But if I knew for a fact that an object was, bringing some sort of ghost into my life, yeah, I would definitely destroy it or
So if you happen to have like some sort of one of your collectibles behind you, all of a sudden one day it just starts, moving on its own. It's
yeah,
gone. Is that it?
yeah, yeah. If Wolverine over here starts walking around by himself,
At night you just hear shink shink.
yeah, yeah, it's out there. What would you do if you had an object that you felt was haunted?
I'll probably just throw it out. Like, I don't want that. Yeah. I mean, or sell it.
So you would bestow it upon someone else and have them take upon the curse object?
Why should I have to fight that battle, right? Let someone else do it.
Yeah.
I was watching the Marlon Wayne's film A Haunted House,
Hmm.
the comedy horror film, and as soon as he finds out and he believes that the house is haunted, there's a for sale sign on the front porch and he's out of there. He's packing up his U-Haul. Of course,
Yeah.
he can't sell it because when the film took place, it was a down economy for the housing market. So he's like, "Who's gonna buy this house?" And he has to live back in there. But yeah, that'd be me. Be like, let someone else deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see wanting to do that, but I would probably just destroy it.
Okay.
If
Wouldn't
you,
that, if it is a cursed object, isn't there like steps, or you'd have to like get it blessed by a priest or cleaned or
I don't know.
something?
I think that's part of like the Warrens where they say, I think they asked them like, wouldn't you just destroy the object? And they're like, well, it's just a vessel, and the spirit would find another vessel for
Mm, hmm.
to inhabit. So I apparently, yeah, you have to keep the object and just make sure that it doesn't do harm to anyone else. Just like lock it up, I guess. I don't know.
That make it for an interesting film. You get someone has a possessed object, they crush it, destroy it, and moves to the next person. So then we follow. What was that movie that followed like a $20 bill? I don't know if you recall that movie like that, but it was like a $20 bill, then it goes through a bunch of different hands and it just tells the story of where that bill went. But change that to a.
I think there was a movie called The Red Violin that was very similar to that,
Mm,
right?
yeah, I think so. Yeah. So imagine that, but with a cursed object.
Yeah. Well, there's a comic book that's really good called The Silver Coin.
Mm, hmm, hmm.
Is basically like that premise.
Yeah.
This cursed coin that keeps popping up with all these like really cool stories, short stories that are done by different artists and
Yeah.
writers.
Think I read was it the first one, I think, with by Chip Sardasky, where
Yeah.
the musician finds it and it takes him to big heights, but of course they have to pay their penance at the end for the
Yeah.
silver coin. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so I watched that scary movie and made some recommendations to my friend to watch The Exorcist, but I saw another really bad movie. I want to say that it was called Baby Ruby. Um,
Ruby.
yeah, let me look it up just to make sure that that's what it was called because it was really. I shouldn't say that it was horrible. It was just not what I expected. I thought it was going to be something within the vein of like Rosemary's Baby or um, The Omen, something like that. And it was not. It was more about postpartum depression.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Baby Ruby. Um, it's a thriller, and it's not good. It's just one of
It's
those
just
movies that
not
you
good.
watch that you're like expecting something to happen, and then it ends, and you're like, "What the fuck was that? What did I just sit through for an hour and a half, and it ended like that?" That's what this film is. I definitely wouldn't recommend it. It's interesting in the sense that like postpartum depression is like a real thing, and
Hmm.
uh, it's something that a lot of families have to deal with,
Yeah.
and etc. But Um, if I would have known that that was what it was about, then maybe I would have a different perspective. But it sort of like made it seem that it was like a devil baby or a demon baby, and it was like Rosemary's Baby.
Hmm.
And go in with that expectation, and then watch this film. I think you'll be greatly disappointed.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I
yeah.
saw a couple other scary films. Well, not scary, more on the spooky side of films, right? One was a possession, one was also about a satanic ritual. One was Christine, the Stephen King book turned into a film, which I the first time I ever saw the whole thing, and it was good. I enjoyed it. A killer car, taking down people, taking down revenge for those who attack it in a way.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the take on it. I thought that was fun. And I saw a movie called Little Evil, which was interesting about a boy born out of a satanic ritual who's supposed to be the vessel for the devil coming back to Earth or something like that with Adam Scott. It was more a comedy horror, but it was pretty good
I mean, that's kind of similar to Late Night with the Devil, right? The
in a way.
young
Yeah,
girl was supposed to be participating in rituals that left her as a vessel for this demon and devil, which is like a pretty popular trope within like horror
yeah,
movies. Like here comes the anti, like I mentioned, like Rosemary's Baby, The Omen,
hmm,
the little kid that is going to be the devil when they grow up.
yeah, yeah. And it was weird because like the main actress, who was her name? The one who played the Wasp, uh, Evangeline Lilly.
Oh, okay.
So she's the main actress in there. So she, as a new college student, joined like this cult, and she didn't know what was going on. She thought it was a big party. Then they had her lie down on the floor inside of a star, star shape that had a circle around it. Next thing she knows, she's waking up and she's pregnant or something like that.
Huh.
Of course, with the baby who is now her son, and it gets into all that. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's about it that I watched. I guess in the spooky side of things this past week.
Yeah. I also continue to watch Grotesquerie,
Hmm.
which is like the American Horror Story Ryan Murphy show. And he's sort of famous for like having shows that start off really good and then they kind of like peter out. That's kind of like what this show's doing. Like it started off
Okay.
really good, and then now it's I'm like, do I keep watching it? Which like I'm forcing myself to watch it because like I'm already invested in it, but at the same time I'm like, this is kind of getting boring and it's yeah. So I don't know. Would probably not recommend it to anyone that hasn't watched it yet. I don't know if there's other people that are like me that are sort of stuck in the middle of it and are kind of trudging along just to see where it ends.
Okay, I was
Um,
going to ask you, do you stick it out just to get the resolution of the series, or are you just like cutting
for the
around?
most part, I do. I try to stick it out to watch it and see how the series resolves itself. But this one's a close call. Like I may stop watching it. Just because there's other good stuff out there to watch that it's like sometimes you don't have time for everything, and it's like, well, why am I going to watch something that's stupid when I could be watching Agatha all along?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a good episode
Yeah,
last week. I enjoyed that. I started watching Shrinking season 2 with Jason Segel, Harrison Ford, Jessica Williams, et al. And they picked up right where they left off from season 1. It was really well written, well performed show. I don't know if
nice.
you've seen it or not on Apple
I have
TV.
not.
It's
Yeah.
really go watch it. It's good.
Hmm. All right.
Shrinking.
It's on Apple TV. You said.
Yes.
All right.
And what else did I see that this past week? Finished up The English Teacher, which I thought was really good. Well done. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see that yet, but
I
it's
have.
a really good show. I recommend it. Again, really well done.
I think that's scarier being a teacher than like demons.
That's another topic. What in real life is more scary than a scary movie? Yeah, I
Yeah,
could say teacher.
teenagers. Yeah, having to deal with teenagers or like young kids. Customer service.
Yeah, anything to deal with people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh man.
There was also the one other thing that I was sort of been listening to that is worth mentioning is Lady Gaga's new single,
Mm,
Disease, came
yeah.
out.
Hmm.
I want to say that her video is coming out or premiering tonight as well.
Oh, is it
Um,
okay? I'll watch
so
that.
I'll be watching that later tonight. But it's a really cool song. It's very Gaga-esque. It's like old school Gaga. Very cool lyrics. Music is really cool. The images that have been released so far are really interesting. So I can't wait to see the video. And it's kind of like I think it has like horror movie vibes to it. And she apparently has been hanging out with Tim Burton a lot. So I think that he might have, I don't know if he directed the video or what his relation to her music and her videos will be. But if anything, it might be an indication that it's going to be like on the spooky vibes kind of side of things.
Did I hear or read that didn't want to let go of the character Harley Quinn? So it's really coming a lot through the music in this album, I think.
Yeah, I think she's very much like what is it called when you inhabit a character and like
Like
you know
method
her-
acting.
like method actress, yeah, like her and Joaquin Phoenix I think kind of bonded over that where I think they both like really get into character when they're
Yeah.
acting. And so yeah, it definitely did you see that movie yet?
Not yet. Joker 2. Have not
Yeah.
yet seen it. I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. People came down on it like really hard, saying that it's horrible, and I actually enjoyed it. I thought that it was really good. I did. I think definitely, Gaga was like the shining moment in the movie. Like she definitely brought a lot to the film, and they could have used her a lot more. But I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, w- when we first heard about it, we heard it was going to be a musical, right?
Yeah,
Did it live up to that?
I wouldn't say that it's like a musical in the sense of like like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers kind of a thing. There's like parts of it that have singing in it, but
Okay.
like I definitely don't think that it's like a musical. I don't know. Like it's like has a musical vibe to it. But it's not like a musical. It sort of just has musical elements to it, I think.
Oh, it doesn't use song to tell the story. Is that
Right.
it? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it does in a way, but it's not like I thought people were going to be like walking and then all of a sudden like break character and start singing, which would have been really horrible. And they do in a way, but it's I don't know, it's not as annoying as a musical.
Okay.
So it's good. It's
Not as
still I
annoying as
mean it's very much the same as Joker, the first one. It's like a continuation of that. They don't like reinvent anything. Like it's very much the same plot, but they introduce Lady Gaga, Harley Quinn, and that in itself is kind of an interesting
okay.
part of the
Oh,
film.
I
So
want to see it. So you
yeah,
don't need to sway me there. I'm going to watch it once I get a chance to. I did
yeah.
finally see Beetlejuice, though.
Oh, nice. What did you think?
I I enjoyed it because it's the Beetlejuice universe. Did it have to be made much like many of the other sequels that come out 30 years after the original?
Yeah.
No.
Hmm.
Was it doing fan service? Maybe. But I enjoyed it. I mean, I won't watch it again probably, but I'd rather watch the first one, but it was decent.
Was it creepy like to you that he was in love with Winona Ryder's character and she was like a teenage girl?
No, because that fit his character.
Like he's supposed to be like gross or whatever,
Yeah,
but like it just kind of it still creeped me out that like because I didn't really get all that from the first movie that he was like that in love with her. I thought that it was just a way for him to
to
get back
escape.
to
Yeah.
the real world, right? Like I
Yeah.
didn't really think that he was like infatuated with her.
Did you ever watch the Beetlejuice cartoons?
I did.
Weren't they more in a I don't want to say relationship, but weren't they more connected in that?
I don't remember it all that well. I thought they were just more like they had a friendship.
Okay. Because I was thinking if they're tying that in, then yeah, I could see why he's in love with her still.
Yeah.
Uh,
I yeah, I just I thought it was weird I mean, it's like however many years later. So like from today's perspective, like they wouldn't really make a movie where an older character is in love with a teenage girl, even if they're supposed to be like a creep.
Mm.
Uh, because like people really like Beetlejuice, even though he's like the anti-hero, like
Yeah,
you still like him, right?
yeah.
Like he's supposed to be like a demon or whatever, but like that it's him that people are really going to go see. So
Hmm.
like I thought it was just kind of weird
Yeah, I can
that,
see what you're saying there. I
you
can
know,
understand that. Yeah, yeah. It's not like well, maybe there's like a Lolita type of thing.
yeah, it was just kind of odd. Like I just don't remember him being like that being part of the first film. Like I know he tried to marry her, but
But
I don't
that was
remember
just
it
as a
being,
stepping stone to get out of the
yeah,
underworld or wherever. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, so I thought that that was interesting, but I did like it. I thought that it was good. It was entertaining. It was totally unnecessary. Sort of like the Monica Bellucci character was like totally irrelevant to the plot. But
yes. That's what we were talking about. It's like, well, his first wife, they could have done so much with her, right? But and I thought that's what the whole where it was leading to. But she was just like a random side story that didn't ever get resolved, and then she's gone.
yeah, yeah, I think it was like it was clever in the sense that they are trying to draw your attention as like, oh, she's the villain of the film, but
Hmm.
the villain is that teenage
Yeah,
boy.
yeah,
Right. So like it's a distraction, but at the
exactly. A
same
red
time,
herring
it
there.
was like, was it really necessary? I mean, it helps that that's his wife or his girlfriend or whatever in real life. So
Oh, is it okay?
yeah. So it
Okay.
doesn't hurt that you're the director. So anyway, but yeah, that was a good that's like another Beetlejuice is another good like spooky Halloween movie for families, I
Yeah,
think. It's not
yeah.
too scary.
Not too scary. Hubie Halloween is another one that's more comedic.
Yeah.
One last one that I watched, and it was not the first time I watched it, but that really took me by surprise of how good it was Paranorman, the animated one that came out the same time as like Frank and Weenie. But it
Yeah.
was just really well done. The story was really well done, and it surprised me watching it again. I forgot how good it was. So, highly recommend that one.
Yeah, I really liked it because of like the representation that they have in it. I think what his older brother turns out to be
Yeah.
gay,
Hmm.
and I thought it was really well done because it was like sort of as like a side note, like it wasn't like the basis for his personality or character. It was just like a side thing, like yeah, he's gay, like it's not
Yeah.
a big
Yeah. That's
deal.
true.
So
Hmm.
I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I agree, it was a really good movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Another
Any
good
other
one.
recommendations?
But yeah. Right now, recommendations of films. I think there's one coming out with Zoe Saldana and Selena Gomez that comes out on November 10th on Netflix. And it's they apparently got like a 15-minute standing ovation at Cannes
Oh wow.
and got an award for like all three actresses that are in the film. Um, and it centers around I think a trans woman and her her story, and then it's also a musical, which like you would think that I would not be excited for a musical, but it's done in a very creative, apparently a very creative way. It's very odd, it's very avant-garde. So I don't know what it's called, I forget what it's called. I think it's like Amalia, or let me look it up real quick because I do definitely want to recommend it um, to people because I want a lot of people to support it. That way, Selena Gomez gets more money. 'Cause
He's not rich enough yet already, so yeah.
yeah, it's called Amelia Perez,
Oh,
and
okay.
it comes out. Um, it comes out this Friday in theaters, which I might go to the theater watch it.
Oh, cool.
Uh, but it has like really good cast. Like you look through the list of the cast of actors and they're amazing. And then it also comes out on Netflix really soon in November. So might possibly wait for it to come out to next Netflix, but I definitely recommend everyone to check it out because I'm a big fan of Zoe
Yeah,
and also Selena Gomez. So
very cool.
yeah, any recommendations from you?
No, go watch Shrinking and the other TV series that I just mentioned, English Teacher. Those are my two recommendations for this week.
All right, cool.
Cool. Well, everyone, thanks for stopping by this week to hear us chat about, possessions in films. Hopefully, you won't get possessed through our episode. And if you do, let us know. That'd be kind of fun.
That would actually be, yeah, like let's have a let's have a podcast with the possessed person.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, if you're watching this in order, we're going to be taking a week off from recording because here in the United States, we're having our big 2024 election next week when we typically do our recording. So we might come back on a live episode the following day to give you our feedback on it. Hopefully there will be some historical happenings here in the United States with electing the first woman president for Kamala Harris. I think that'd be awesome. So hopefully that does come to fruition. So everyone get out there and vote. Your voice matters. That's all for today.
All right. Thank you.